Hey, y'all. Melanie Hale here with the Radiology Roundup. And today's guest is so dear to my heart and needs no real introduction, even though I am going to give one. Dr. Stuart Bushong, if you are a technologist, a radiographer, or if you're a radiologist, he has likely touched your life in one way or another. If you live in the Houston area, he may have been your professor for physics. And if you are a student abroad, passed out outside of Houston or Texas, you've likely had his educational material in front of you. Dr. Bushong, I had the pleasure of getting to know him in my years of teaching at Houston Community College back in the early 2000s as he came and taught our students physics class. So I was like blown away because I had his textbook at my school when I was learning too. So awesome to get to know him over the years and become a friend and just still learn from him, and just make you smile ear to ear the whole time you're visiting with him. A little background for those of you who may or may not know. Dr. Bushong got his Bachelor of Science from the University of Maryland, his Master of Science, and his Doctorate of Science from the University of Pittsburgh. He currently is the Professor in Chief Section of Radiologic Science, Department of Radiology at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, Texas. He has been there 49 years, starting back in 1976. Still there, still doing that. He has authored or co-authored over 154 publications. He has reviewed over 33 book chapters, and he has authored or co-authored more than 43 books. This year is the golden anniversary, the 13th edition, 50th year of the Radiologic Science for Technologists textbook, Physics, Biology, and Protection. And again, if you were a student of radiography, you may have had this book. And he was very instrumental in our lives of learning. A bit of fun fact here. He has the Texas Board of Licensure for Professional Medical Physicists, license number 0001. Very interesting. A number of accolades, awards, honors that he has received, professional affiliations, and so forth. At the age of 89, he is still doing what he does best. And I'm so thankful to call him friend and colleague and mentor, and just to sit back and let him make me smile. So please help me welcome Dr. Stuart Bushong. And today's guest needs no introduction. All of us who have been in and around medical imaging, even smelled medical imaging, know who Dr. Stuart Bushong is. And I'm so grateful to have him on as our guest today. Welcome, Dr. B.
Melanie, it's my pleasure to be with you. I haven't seen you in a while, and there's just so much going on in life now. It's incredible. And as I told you, hey, this is my first podcast, and I didn't realize it would be a video too. Come on,
Yeah,
podcast or just audio. Good.
No, we do both here.
Good, excellent.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that I am your first podcast. That makes me feel even that much more special. Dr. Bushong actually has a picture of me in the 10th edition, and so go back and look for it. It's like page 129, somewhere in there. I remember that. I'm so thankful for that, too.
Oh, well, that means page one. That means You
It's
see this? This is the golden anniversary edition, and this is the very
13.
first copy because it'll be available in another month.
All right.
What chapter was yours? I know it. Never mind.
We were talking about it was CR, and we took pictures, and
Yeah.
I sent them to you. Yeah,
I can picture. I have them in my mind. But yeah,
that was just a minute ago.
That's what's so wonderful about radiology education, about what you're doing right now, is all of the wonderful, interesting, and caring friends that we've made and met all of these years. Great time.
Totally. Well, Dr. B, I'm not going to, probably ask or go down the road that a lot of people that interview you talk about. We're just old friends, and I just want to chat with you a little bit. And I've always wondered, going back and I'm reading over your CV, why did you go into medical physics? What is the connection and interest back so many years ago? Why that?
Quick answer, because I participated as a nuclear physicist in the meltdown of 2 nuclear reactors. And by the time I had done that, I had discovered the field of medical physics, which I didn't know. And I was in graduate school at the time that I melted down the second one. So let me back up just a minute. So
yeah, I want more details than the short version.
Yeah. So I got, when I work for this place, when I got to Texas, everybody knows Bushong, right? And right now, giggling, the Aggies are playing now. The Longhorns play baseball in just a few minutes.
Okay.
So, but I work for Baylor. This is the Baylor Bears.
Okay.
Baylor College of Medicine. But yes, but nobody knows where I went to school. And this is otherwise known as Fear the Turtle, University of Maryland. Fear the Turtle. And that's a turtle humpback. Oh, I've had more fun with that.
A couple of turtles that I've gotten fear from, that's for sure.
So, graduated from University of Maryland. Betty and I got married. First job was on the Idaho, the Snake River Plain in middle of Idaho, at a place at that time was called the National Reactor Testing Station. And there were 30 nuclear reactors out there at that time. There are about 55 out there now. It was, as I say, they built reactors to see if they worked. And I got a call from my boss one night and said, Hey, Stuart, go pick up the pool car and get Stan Herzinger, my co-worker, and go out to the SL1. Something's going on out there. Anyway, we drove out there at midnight, cloudless sky, no moon, beautiful stars, drove up a hill to the reactor where we were, and had to engage in through a porthole where put on contamination clothing and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how this happened, but I was the one that went in, and Stan stayed outside. And he's got the radiation meter, and I've got the probe, and I'm going in there, and I've got a meter in my hand, and I walk around and around and up onto the operating floor. And when I got to the operating floor, I'm looking up at the shell, and you know what the shell looks like on a nuclear reactor. I look up there, and wow, there was a guy, an operator. There were 3 operators at the reactor that night. One of the operators was impaled on the ceiling. There had been, and we know all about it now and what happened and how. The other 2 operators were dead on the operating floor there. And when I saw all of this, of course, I'm a kid, and I'm thinking, what in the bleep is going on? And I took off and ran down the stairs and got back out. Anyway,
oh my gosh.
So that was it's called the SL1, stands for Stationary Low Power Nuclear. They were building that reactor to take it to Antarctica.
Wow.
So about not too long after that, I got a better job with Westinghouse in Pittsburgh at the Westinghouse testing reactor. It was a big raise in pay, and we moved to Pittsburgh, to Irwin, Pennsylvania, which is on the eastern side of Pittsburgh. And that's where the Westinghouse testing reactor is.
Okay.
And we got there, and we had a meltdown there. I wasn't involved in the meltdown,
Oh my.
but I was very much involved with the cleanup and everything.
Oh my gosh.
And it was during that time of the cleanup that I started a graduate school at the University of Pittsburgh. And I started in the field of health physics, radiation control kind of thing, just because that's what was offered.
Mhm.
And then I switched to medical physics when I realized that they offered that also.
Okay.
So that's how I got into medical physics. But then
For a personal reason.
let me extend the story just because it's fun, and it's been such a wonderful career for me. So in medical physics, there are two principal parts to medical physics.
Mhm.
One is in radiation therapy,
Okay.
and the other is in medical imaging. Our principal organization is the American Association of Physicists in Medicine.
Mhm.
There are 12,000 of us in membership now, 12,000. It was a new organization when I joined it. I am member 194, something like that, long time ago. Long time ago. So with that kind of membership, you discover that 10,000 of the 12, 90% of the physicists are in radiation therapy.
Mhm.
Only about 10% of us are in medical imaging. And I have enjoyed medicine. So and when I started looking for a job, got a job at Baylor College of Medicine, doing today what I did then. And I had five offers to do the same kind of job at five really neat medical schools doing the same thing. And would you believe the offer from Baylor College of Medicine was the lowest of the five, and I took it because of the impression that the guy that hired me made. Then the guy that hired me, Vincent Collins, got into a fight with Michael DeBakey, who was our president at Baylor. It was Baylor University College of Medicine and was changed to Baylor College of Medicine.
Mhm.
And DeBakey and my boss got to fighting, and he fired my boss. Now you can't do that. So my boss really this guy, he'd been there 20 years. He was the first chairman. Vincent Collins was the first chairman of radiology at Baylor College of Medicine.
Oh my goodness.
So it wasn't long after that, I started looking for another job, and I got called into DeBakey's office.
Oh no.
Which was on the first floor at Baylor College of Medicine. He'd come over from Methodist Hospital after surgery and that sort of thing. I sat down, and of course, I'm a kid, and I'm totally scared. What in the hell? I couldn't believe this happening. So I sat down, and I have never been so impressed with any individual. This
Wow.
Bakey, who was a giant at that time,
Yeah.
sat behind his desk and talked to me without looking at any notes, but he obviously had read notes and knew who I was. And in 10 or 15 minutes, mostly of his talking, very little questions by me, he convinced me to stay. He said, Stuart, hang around. I promise you will be happy if you hang with us. We're in a situation of change. And I did.
Wow.
I actually got to know DeBakey. I wouldn't say know him, but he knew me. We visited.
Yeah. How
And
cool is that?
I've been there 60 years. Can you believe that's a long time?
That is a long time. Mhm.
I mean, I'm not even sure about this, but I know it's true for radiology. Nobody's been in radiology any longer at Baylor than I have. I don't know about the other departments, but it's still a great place to work, and I enjoy it. And I'm still working, but I'm doing less because I have less talent and less time and less energy.
I don't know about the talent. I can't imagine that. It's all still there, coming right back like we spoke yesterday. Well, that is all super interesting, Dr. B. I want to circle back a little bit because the little story that you mentioned, or the first meltdown and then the second meltdown, what was your dose like? What was that like for you? Is that why you changed to medical physics? I mean, because now you're personally affected by it?
Oh, good question. No, that was not, the dose was not the reason.
Okay.
Because when I turned in at the SL1, when I turned in my film badge, right? Do you know what a film badge is?
I had one too.
Did you? Okay.
I
You've
sure
been
did.
around.
Yes, sir.
When I had a film badge, the badge was not, you were not able to evaluate radiation exposure above, at that time, about 20 R, something like that. It was, and my badge could not be read. It was overexposed.
Above 20 R
Yes.
or
Yes.
millirim?
No, not milli. That's rads. That's rads.
Crazy.
The old units. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I don't know how, I mean, 20 rad, 20 ram, no sweat, but you don't know sweat about over it. And so anytime I've had any problems in the past, since then, I've always blamed it on my unknown radiation exposure.
It's hormesis.
Yeah, hormesis, right. Hormesis.
There you go. I'm back to your book and that from that right there. Not there.
So I got
Well,
the
awesome.
WTR and essentially no exposure. We had a lot of contamination, but no exposure.
Wow. Okay. Well, so you talked about you were so impressed by the guy who interviewed you. I was wondering, you had these offers, but Baylor was the lowest. Why would you come to Houston? What brought you to Houston? So it was the guy who interviewed you.
It was, but also it was the fact that I wasn't aware of everything that was going on in South Texas. I was very much impressed with the city of Houston, which isn't anything like it is now. And of course, everything's grown. But I was also introduced to the Texas Hill Country, which is out in West Texas on the other side of Austin.
Yeah.
I was introduced to Austin, and I was introduced to the East Texas piney woods.
My home.
Really?
Yes,
you
sir.
You learn how to hold your hand out and feed your chicken, right?
Feed my chicken.
Hold your hand out like that. We don't, East Texas, up in the piney, you don't just hold out your hand and shake. You hold out your hand and say, feed my chicken. And you go, back, 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 back. And then you feed mine. Good. You got it.
So where in East Texas did you learn that?
Up in Nacogdoches.
Oh, Lord. I lived in Nacogdoches through the 5th grade and started the 6th grade in Apple Springs, which is between Lufkin and Groveton. And that's where I graduated.
What a small world.
It's small.
Why'd you ever leave? Your parents?
I had to get a job. There weren't any x-ray jobs when I got out of college. I had to come to Houston to work.
Awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So you started at Baylor. You are still there. You teach the radiology residents, yes?
Yes.
And you're still doing that?
Yes, but as you know, totally different now.
Oh.
That is to say, education at every level of education is so different. And 3 years ago at Baylor, I mean, I've dealt with the Baylor Department of IT for the last 20, 30 years, information technology with, everything that we,
Right.
We have a new Department of EIT that began 4 years ago, Education Innovative Technology, and effective last July for me and for all of the other faculty, essentially no more classroom activity.
None?
Zero. Our first-year medical students last July spent the first 2 semesters at home on their own time, at their own pace, viewing YouTube videos that they were required to make. And that's what we're doing now at every level. I started 3 or 4 years ago. I made 3 videos for my residents, and I didn't like it at all, and I stopped. So what I'm doing now that's acceptable is to pass on to the residents educational material, teaching material that's available online. And I'm particularly thinking about the RSNA AAPM instructional modules, which I did have a part in producing some, in composing some of them. And so that's what we're doing now. But
so, like, we're live right now and we're engaging one-on-one. I could ask you a question. Is that not what y'all are doing? It's all recorded material?
Yes.
Okay.
Not only can we not ask a question, so for all of these years with my residents, as with radiographers, quizzes, exams, final exams, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We, the whole faculty, instructed, we cannot assess their performance. Can't give tests or quizzes anymore. And so when I asked the question of the new faculty in EIT, the Department of EIT, well, how the bleep do we know if they're learning, if we're teaching, if they're following? And the answer is that the only assessment that is required of them is to pass the core exam, American Board of Radiology core exam, the certification exam. And that I think is stupid. And as I point out,
wow,
my friends here, and you know that I live in a finishing school now, right?
I was going to ask. That's on my list to ask you about. You'll have to tell me about that.
All right, I'll tell you about the finishing school in a minute. But I've now told all of my classmates here at the finishing school, because they're all going to the hospital once a week, once a month. They go to the hospital. And I tell them, well, look at the radiology report, get a copy of the radiology report. And when you look at the report, see who the radiologist is that signs it. If the radiologist signs it, a staff radiologist, you know that radiologist has not yet passed the ABR certification exam, because otherwise it would be signed by board certified, ABR certified radiologist. Yep.
Wow.
But I now understand from grand apes and great that's going on at every level of education.
I don't understand. I mean, from a rad tech or radiography higher education perspective, how do I know if my student is weak in radiobiology or if they're weak in equipment? If it's just one exam I give them and they pass or they don't, it's a yes or a no. I mean, yes, I guess I can see where they were weak or stronger in, but that's just one assessment. I would hope to help them to get better in their weaker areas along the way.
You are absolutely correct. I agree with every word. But this is the change.
I think I would have gotten through a program like that. I mean, a radiography program. I needed to know where my weak areas are and really, really work hard on that.
Yeah. Well, apparently what I just described is happening in grade school, middle school, high school. That is to say, the instructions are by iPad, and I don't know what they're doing about assessment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it is. It's a total change.
It is. I haven't heard this.
I don't have such a concern about the medical students, because these students are all they're smart. Their intensity and directing to their job work opportunities is correct. But I'm not sure about students at other levels or in other disciplines. There's no way I could have got through physics without having that study for an exam.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. If I only had one make it or break it, I know I'd break it. I would not make it. That's just me because I need to okay, I did really poorly on that, or I had severe test anxiety, and now I need to work on that so I
Ah,
can do better next time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so are you still teaching radiography students?
No, I am not. And the reason for that is um, because of my remoteness now to the medical center.
Yeah.
I was involved with Lone Star College out on the north side of Houston
Yep.
for many years, and of course, for Houston Community College. We started Houston Community College in Methodist Hospital. That was back in the 1970s.
Yes, sir.
It was at that time I was teaching. I've taught radiography students at Houston Community College for all these years. But as a good story for your audience, I'm walking down the B corridor at Baylor College of Medicine in 1972, which is about the time that I began teaching in the hospital RT program at
Okay.
Methodist Hospital, where
Okay.
Michael Bakey was anyway. So I'm walking down the B corridor with Bob McIntyre was my third chairman.
Okay.
And he's looking at me and he said, Stuart, he was a staff radiologist at Methodist Hospital, and that's why he was my next chairman. And he said, Stuart, I submitted your name for the promotions committee and was just informed that they could not promote. This was for promotion to associate professor, from assistant professor to a tenured
Associate.
associate professor. He said, you cannot obtain tenure until you write a textbook. That's what this guy said. And that's what that was 1975. In 1975, the first edition of this book appeared.
Wow.
So this is the golden anniversary edition.
That is super. That is
Yeah,
super.
it is super. And it turns out that it was 75 that I wrote that book. And just after the book was written, the promotions committee erased that requirement. You don't have to write a book anymore.
But we would not have come to the world as radiography students of knowing Dr. B and all about that side of physics and how to explain it with the drawings. I was telling my daughter about this morning. She said, drawings in his book of him? I said, yes. And there are diagrams all through it with his mustache and his lab coat all through it. And I love that. And that was still true to the last edition I worked and taught from. And I'm so thankful, so thankful.
Oh, you know what that triggers. Let me show you something, because
Let's hear it.
I wasn't sure what we were going to be talking about, but
It's wide open.
you remember this, right? Huh?
Penguin.
The penguin tail.
Penguin.
The penguin tail. The penguin tail is on the first page of the first chapter in this book. All right?
Okay.
And it's been there for about 20 years. I learned the penguin tail from Ben.
On the iceberg?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You remember.
Yeah.
Now your audience needs to know. What is the penguin?
Yeah, tell everybody because they may not all know.
Let's do it this way. In the Antarctic, there's a beautiful iceberg that is so glorious that penguins swim from far and near, climb up on the iceberg until the iceberg is saturated with penguins. The next penguin to climb up onto the iceberg pushes a penguin off. The penguins are at equilibrium with the iceberg. That is the physics of the penguin tail, and it's very important in magnetic resonance imaging. Saturation equilibrium describes most of the MRI pulse sequences, right? You got to know those words.
Mm-hmm.
The education of the penguin tail is that, well, I've been with you. We've been at it for 20, 30 minutes now.
Yeah.
I don't think I've given you a single penguin yet.
Give me a penguin. I've been waiting.
I know. Here, the penguin is because it's like this. A penguin is a physics or science fact or a teaching fact or any kind of piece of information that you got to stick in your iceberg. You got to put that on your iceberg without regard for what's getting shoved off, because even your iceberg or mine can only hold so much. So many penguins.
I think my iceberg is smaller than some because the penguins keep falling off the back and they don't want to come back. So, yes, I
Hey,
love it.
let me show you something else, just because this is not the book, but what I have had to do. You may know and may remember that in previous editions, for the last maybe 6 or 8 editions, on those pages in the book where there was room, there would be a penguin tune there that Craig Emmert did for me, illustrator at Baylor. Cartoons about penguins, penguin tunes. Well, in this, the Golden Anniversary edition, if I plugged it, now we have, look at this. Every page that has room has a dog on it, has a dog reading Bushong. Let's see what the next one comes down as.
They look so enthralled.
Yeah, see that?
Oh, yes.
Reading Bushong.
Cuddlebug Sims.
Yes, one of my, and the reason this, I'm coming to the to the finishing school because I'm up here on the 5th floor and I'm looking out at the campus. We got 2 little lakes on our campus.
Okay.
This is, and I have written articles for our newsletters and things here. This is called the Eagles Trace Retirement Community. And I moved here 4 years ago with my wife, Betty, because of some health issues that she had. And it took us way west in Houston. We're way out on the western side. And that's why with the virtual education, it works for me, and I can still doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But we get all the way out here on the western side of town, and I'm looking down at all of my neighbors in the finishing school, and it's a finishing school. And Melanie, you may know, because when I was in high school, this is what I've written for our local journals. I don't call this place a retirement community. I call it a finishing school. My girlfriends in high school would go to finishing schools on Saturday morning to learn etiquette, you know? And I have written all along that the best high school dates were the Catholic girls, because they went to a Catholic high school, and the whole Beepin high school was a finishing school. They had a finishing school etiquette class and every day.
Walk with a book on their head and learn which fork to eat with and all those good things.
Exactly.
So they were the best ones to date in high school.
Absolutely.
Oh, Lord. Well, so your finishing school, I know with all your many accolades, you won the Extra Mile Award in 2023. Yes. So tell me about that.
A lot of interesting people here who have a lot of different talents, have been successful in so many different areas.
Wow.
And the guy that presented that to me is Jim Beebe, and he worked for John Deere Tractors. Huh?
Okay.
And the reason that he gave me that award was that I organized a group here at the finishing school, and we're going to meet in just a few hours today, Thursday.
Awesome.
The title is really kind of funny, Melanie. It's just funny because the title of the group is Thirsty Thursday.
I can't imagine what you're thirsty for.
Yes, exactly. But it's so funny because for all of these years on Friday afternoon, I'd go out with my residents or students for wherever, and for Friday after work. Thirsty Thursday, I expected when I got this organized that a bunch of guys would show up with me and drink beer. But no. This afternoon, we will have somewhere between 20 and 30 of my
Wow.
And out of the 20 and 30, there may be 4 or 5 guys. All the rest are women, and they're all drinking wine. they, they are what I call my overtime honeys.
Ah, oh my gosh, I wish I was closer. I'd be there with you today.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm going to remember this on Thursdays. If I'm in Houston, I may call you up and say, I'm on my way. Pour me a crown and water.
Absolutely. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I love it. That's
it's
awesome.
all good stuff. Well, here we had a um I've got a caper going on now. In fact, I'll put you on the blind copy list. Have you ever played bocce ball? Do you know
Uh,
bocce?
I've seen it. I've never played it, but I have seen it.
I haven't. I haven't seen it. I had not seen it until I got to the finishing school. There are a lot of other stories like this. But this morning, there were 16 two-person teams
Wow.
in competition for the ETFS BBT spring tournament, the bocce ball tournament. And four of those teams uh, advanced to the Saturday's Final Four. And Jeff Gordon and I are one of those teams.
Wow. May Madness at the finishing school.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Good stuff. Hey, before we let me show you something.
Please do.
Because we didn't talk about this, but I got this just in case anybody watching this forgets that this is a physics lecture. So there you go.
Einstein's best right
Yes,
there.
yes.
Dr. B, I lectured this year at TSRT in Fort Worth.
Oh.
And my son, who lives in Fort Worth, he's 22 years old. I put a picture up in the lecture of you in lecturing at TSRT in Dallas. It would have been 2003, holding him when he was an infant. And it was three of us. And that's the first time he saw me lecture was at TSRT this year. And then there was that picture of the three of us. And you were wearing your Einstein wig. And the whole crowd got a big chuckle out of it. And I treasure that picture. I love that picture.
Good.
Well, Dr. B, I'm not going to dig down on anything because everybody already knows all that side of you, but I'm just so thankful to have had this fun chat. And what do you want to impart with our listeners today, wherever they are, medical radiography professionals, imaging professionals or not? What do you want to share with them today?
I would suggest that we're in the middle of an explosion of knowledge, particularly in physics, but that's not why this is, particularly in medicine, and even more particularly in radiology. And it has to do with artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And artificial intelligence this has come on this, although you'll find publications referencing artificial intelligence 30 years ago. It's just starting right now.
Wow.
And the acceleration of applications is going like that. And so my suggestion is, as a student, as a resident, it's what I tell my residents now, you do not need to know about artificial intelligence other than there's a whole new English language associated with artificial intelligence that you need to become familiar with. That you need to be, you and your team, whatever, has to be able to select those AI algorithms to employ in whatever your work environment is. And I tell my residents all the time now, hey, you got enough to learn. And the technologists do also. You got enough to learn, but you ought to at least know that, just for instance, and these numbers may not be right, but there are about 1,000 AI algorithms available that have been developed specifically for radiology.
Okay.
Now, we can't take the time to evaluate all of those, but you need to have somebody on your group that when you make a selection of an algorithm to use in your place of education or work, that you know what it's about. If you don't, you'll be left behind, particularly radiologists. If the radiologists don't engage with AI, they're going to be left behind. And it's going to change another order of magnitude in 2 years, maybe 4 years.
Wow.
With the introduction of quantum computing. There are quantum computers working right now, but the idea to get a laptop that's not a digital computer, but a quantum computer, when you have that, it'll be 10 times faster with 10 times the capacity and can do 10 times the stuff that you do now. So that's answer to your question, what I suggest. Yeah.
Where, general answer, where would technologists of old, not new, not in this new stuff that's coming up, technologists or radiologists, where could they best research and try to be up to date on what's going on?
Tough question, because the internet, the web is loaded with educational information now. And whomever you talk to, whatever algorithm they're using, they like it. They think it's the best. I mean, it's
Right.
that kind of thing. The other thing that's a little goofy is the journals are going they're going online. And I've always enjoyed reading paper journals. I print out a lot of articles now. But for instance, the RSNA AAPM has the Journal of Artificial Intelligence now. I mean, that's the title of the journal. Mm-hmm. And so all of the papers are on that. So you have to condition your time, the use of your time, as wisely as you can, because you don't have enough time to read all that stuff,
right?
Much less understand it. Yeah.
And technology is changing day by day. So by the time I've read something, I feel like, 2 weeks, it's going to be old.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Bushong, a sincere and heartfelt thank you for coming on our show. And I'm going to come by and have a Thirsty Thursdays with you one day and surprise you. I can't wait. And I just can't wait to see what new things are coming from you. I know the 13th edition is going to be coming out. When is it coming out?
Well, I got my author copies, but it'll be out next month.
Okay.
It should be available in a month.
Okay.
But I would suggest because this is changing too, and I've had this discussion with my editors. This Golden Anniversary edition that is now available, now coming out, was the most difficult. But part of it had to do with Elsevier, not just me. But because Elsevier has changed the way they do this sort of thing.
They've changed on the buying too. I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, but the thought process being, tell your students and your you might wait and look at the electronic edition.
Okay.
Don't buy the textbook.
Okay.
Buy the e-edition. I'm not even sure of what they'll sell that for, but I know that the textbook is priced at $150 now. That's a lot of dough. Huh?
Wow.
Well, I don't even know what my price is yet for me to buy author editions. But I would expect the e-edition to be under $50. But I'm not sure about that.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that advice. Dr. Bushong, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you, and I look forward to seeing you and sitting down and visiting with you very soon.
You got to do that. How'd it go, Melanie? Thanks for the invite.
Thank
be
you.
on radio. Yes.
Yes, hugs and love. You're
Yes.
my yeah, I love to be your first podcast. Yay for me.
Yes. Thanks, pal.
Hey y'all, Melanie Hale here with Advanced Health Education Center in Houston, Texas. AHEC has been a leading provider of continuing education for healthcare professionals in the imaging sciences since 1988. Our mission is to provide you, the radiologic technologist, physician, sonographer, nurse, and allied health professional with evidence-based education and training that increases your knowledge, enhances your competency, and overall improves patient care. Technologists, has the time come to learn a new modality? Are you limited in your resources and, more importantly, time available to learn a new modality? AHEC is here to help. We have online and in-person delivery methods available for mammography, bone densitometry, sonography, CT, and MRI. AHEC also offers CME for physicians, including in-person ultrasound training. We have continuing education available via live webinar, on demand, at-home study, and in person. We offer specialized corporate training classes both online and in person. Do you have a specific staff training need? We will come to you. Want to host a continuing education event for your staff and community? Hey, we do that too. Did you know AHEC also offers mammography consulting services? We provide on-site services to assist with regulatory inspection issues as well as accreditation reviews. Our consultants can design an acceptable compliance plan or a plan of action to correct deficiencies specific to your facility. Check us out at aheconline.com. Check us out wherever you social, like, follow, subscribe, and stay in touch with the many course offerings, events, and stackable learning courses we offer. Have a specific need? Give us a call at the office, 800-239-1361. Make the change from cheap continuing education to affordable, quality education that you can use. It's time to invest in yourself. Hey y'all, what a great talk with Dr. Bushong today. And again, my face is going to be sore tomorrow just from smiling so much because he can make one smile. And in my takeaways today, I just was thinking back, how long have I known Dr. Bushong? Right around 27 years approximately. And things I still learn from him today that I knew then but when I was a student and didn't know him, that I was learning from his textbook, especially his drawings, his little drawings of himself in the lab coat with the mustache. I still remember those, and he still puts those in his book. But he's trying to make learning fun. And my first takeaway, have fun with what you're doing. It doesn't matter what Dr. Bushong is doing. He's going to be finding a way to smile, to make others smile, and to laugh where he can. He's quite the storyteller. And that's what people remember. They may not remember, a math problem or a formula, but they're going to remember the stories. And Dr. Bushong is quite the storyteller. Um, you know, not all of us are natural storytellers, but share a story, an example that maybe helps someone else. Or something they can learn from. In my years of being an educator, especially in patient care class, because as a young tech and as a student tech, I screwed up so much stuff. I would be teaching something. I'll say, okay, here's a story. Don't do what Miss Hale did, but here's what she did, because I knew they were going to remember what Miss Hale really screwed up. And they're thinking, when they're in that situation, I'm going to be sure I don't do that. Man, she got in trouble for that. I would tell the story. And though I am far from the storyteller that Dr. Bushong is, sharing a story with someone else, it's long gone, it's over. Maybe it's funny now. Maybe it wasn't funny at the time, but making it light, people are going to remember that and they're going to remember you for it. So have fun with what you're doing. Be a storyteller. Learn to laugh. My next one, make others laugh. there's not that's not always an appropriate situation, but I think about learning physics. For me as a student, for me as an educator, physics and equipment were my weakest area. And use me as your example. There were few people, they do exist, whether they were students that I've had or whether faculty that I work with. There are few people that are strong in all content areas. My strength was procedures, patient care, clinic, lab, all the hands on and the talking that and naturally that's where I'm the strongest at. The math based stuff, such as physics, not my strength. And though I could have taught it, I would not want to teach that to students because they need to get it from someone who is great at it. And that was always my philosophy in education, that teach to your strength. I wanted to know, with especially mentoring new faculty, what was your strength in school? What do you feel is your strongest area now? That's what you should be teaching. We don't always get that choice as educators. Sometimes we're given, here's what you're going to teach. But thankfully, for the students that went through Miss Hale's classroom, Miss Hale never had to teach physics. I'm so thankful for that. But on the learning piece for me, Dr. Bushong, he made it fun. He didn't teach me, but I did have his textbook. The drawings I will never forget of him in a diagram with his lab coat, and he's trying to give an example of what was the concept on that page. He gave us a preview today of the golden edition. He's adding dogs. Okay, well, that's really going to keep my attention as well because I'm a dog lover. And so he's going to add that throughout the book. And so, he finds ways to keep things interesting and fun for maybe not the most fun material. So, help others, make it fun, make it light, make it something relatable. I'd never met Dr. Bushong and never seen a picture of him, but I knew what he looked like from his book, from his drawings. And now adding the dogs, how fun is that? That's great. So learn to laugh, make others laugh, make maybe some difficult news or material light. Never stop learning. His textbook for the technologists, for those of us that learned in our radiography programs, it's in its 50th year. So this is the year 2025. 1975 is when that first came out. Dr. Bushong is 89 years old. Never stop learning. Let him be the example. He has fun with whatever he's doing and loves life and makes friends and is involved in his community, whether it's the professional community or his new finishing school community. And I love the term finishing school. That is priceless. That is priceless. I'm going to use that from now on. But he has fun with whatever he's doing, and he makes a community wherever he's at. So inspiring to me and reminding that though we're on the backside of COVID and some of us now work remotely, don't have a lot of interaction with a lot of people unless we're out on the road traveling or lecturing, that it is important to stay with a community, and how good that is for the soul. It is. I needed that myself. I needed to see that and hear that. He has today is a Thursday that we're recording this. He has his Thirsty Thursdays with his compadres in his finishing school. Love, love, love. Have your days with your compadres, with your buddies, your girlfriends. Maybe it's a terrific Taco Tuesday lunch. Maybe it's a fabulous Friday. It's 5 o'clock. Let's have a drink and cheers to the week. Have a get together. Maybe it's the coffee shop Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Whatever that looks like. Get out of the office now and then. Get out and mingle and connect with your community, whoever and whatever that looks like. Life is too short, and he gave me some reminders today that I need to put back into my life. That I used to be very social, and after going home after COVID, I've gotten really independent, working by myself and working in the office by myself, my home office. And so these are all reminders I think we can all remember that it's important to have a community, whether it's a personal level or professional level, and to make it fun and to make it fun. Um, so I challenge you. Let's all do better. I know I can do better, and make it great. Make life great. We're on this planet for a fleeting moment, so let's make it great. As always, guys, thank you for your time today. Thank you for listening to this podcast. You can help us by going onto your platform, leaving us a 5-star review wherever you listen. Share this with your colleagues. We are trying to meet more people, and you can help us. Give us a subscribe, like, share. Let people know, hey, you know that mean old Miss Hale that we had as a teacher so long ago? Oh my God, she's doing a podcast. Oh, you got to see this. I'll take your subscription or your viewing, even if it's a good chuckle at Miss Hale. Bring it on. That's fine. But I would love to help grow our community, and you can help do that. A special heartfelt thanks to Dr. Bushong. Thank you for being with me today. And I am going to stop by with the Thirsty Thursday and surprise you one of these days when I'm down in Houston on Thursday evening. So I look forward to it. Special thanks to John Largent with Largent Media and his team. This podcast does not happen without y'all. And I'm so grateful to you guys. And you do an amazing job. To be in San Antonio and I'm in Houston and our guest is wherever on the planet, you make it go great and sound great. And thank you. Guys, as I said, we're here for a short while on this planet. Let's make it count. Go out and spread some kindness and some love. And as you know, peace, love, and rad. Take care.